Hello and welcome to a new video here on my channel. Here at commaikEnglish, Today I will expand my existing balcony power plant with two new modules. I have the new modules. I want to align the four modules like this in the future, that I have covered all southern sides from east to west in order to ensure in the future to produce electricity throughout the entire day. At the same time, I will make preparations to future-proof to feed electricity that I do not consume during the day into a battery management system. This way I also use some of my solar power at night. In this first video, I will show you how to set up you can easily set up a balcony power plant. I will show how I assemble the mounting bracket. I connect the inverter and integrate the balcony power plant into my home Wi-Fi. Have fun with it. Behind me, you can see the two modules from my old balcony power plant. At the moment, the modules are oriented towards south, southeast and south, southwest. The south is located in this direction. This means I have the late morning and early afternoon well covered. My goal now is to change the orientation of the modules in such a way that I can further arrange them. I will orient them towards the east and then further towards the west. I will place the two new modules towards the south to achieve max power. My pool pump can be used with PV photovoltaic electricity. My previous PV photovoltaic modules each has its own microinverter, which reduces the output power to 300 W. This allows I can reach a maximum of 600 watts that these two modules feed in. Currently, I am allowed to do this in Germany. However, no more than 800 watts can somehow be fed into the power grid. For this reason, I can't just integrate the new modules like that. I need a zero feed-in ensure. In a second video, I will show you how I solve this. I have my eye on the Zendure Hyper 2000, which I definitely want to try out, but from that, independently, I will now show you what you actually need to put a balcony power plant into operation, to be able to. Ideally, of course, the suitable PV modules. I have here a set of two modules with a power of 440 W each, bifacial. This means that a large portion of the sunlight shines on the modules in front and accordingly produces PV, photovoltaic electricity, that is direct current. Modules are light transmissive, so they can also be used on the back side. This means that when the sunlight coming from the back or being reflected off surfaces can affect the sunlight, also activate the modules from the back and produce electricity in this way. This means instead of the 440 W that these modules nominally provide, I am already at 530 W to 560 W here when I consider if you want to believe advertising promises, what else do I need? Of course, an inverter to convert the direct current coming from the modules into 220 V alternating current. This inverter is simply plugged into the socket with a regular Schuko plug and then converts this direct current into alternating current, which I can use directly. Everything that what I currently do not need is directly fed to my energy supplier. Is happy about it because he receives free electricity from me. On the other hand, it can, of course, also for the problems that may arise when too many households feed in. The network of this whole thing is no longer sufficient. That should be exciting, how this will develop in the future. What else do I need? Of course, a connection cable to connect the modules to the inverter in order to successfully and efficiently. The inverter also has a Wi-Fi antenna. I can integrate the balcony power plant into my home network. In my home, integrate the assistant into various routines. I can also use it to program a zero feed-in with a battery to make sure that the electricity I don't need during the day is fed into the battery, and then when the power of the module is no longer sufficient or at night I would like to draw from the battery, take this electricity out again and feed it into my grid. The difference in my project compared to in many other projects, I will not connect the PV modules to the battery, but place the battery somewhere in my house and the connection I will do it on the AC side, so with alternating current. The modules feed in here at the front and on the other side. The battery is located outside the house and draws this excess electricity through a regular socket. In order for the modules to be securely and stably mounted on the roof, it naturally requires a uplift. I recently built this roof over my new garden terrace. If you want to know how I did it, look in the top right corner. I have linked you the corresponding video. On the roof, I will then install the PV photovoltaic modules with the aluminum mounting is securely and stably constructed. The mounting looks in its raw state. This is how it looks. I have the screws and the profiles. This is a set for a total of 2 modules. I paid around 40 euros for this. I'm not exactly sure. I think that's reasonable. Is a very good and also a very fair price. If you place the balcony power plant on a tiled roof, if you want to install it on a prefa roof or a corrugated metal roof, no matter how, pay attention. Make sure that you buy the right mounting bracket so that the PV photovoltaic modules are stable and stormproof. Can be installed. If you want to know where to get all this stuff, the mounting, the modules, inverter, cables and so on, then take a look below the video in the description. All the components that I use and with which I am satisfied, I have linked it for you there. Just click on it, same price for you and a small commission for me and my channel. This is how I finance my projects. If you are already here, then don't forget to give me a thumbs up, a like, subscribe to my channel to catch the two. Don't miss part of this project. Write to me in the comments section what you think about this projects or how you have implemented it yourselves. You know, I always look forward to it immensely, the exchange with you. But enough chit chat. I will now briefly and concisely show you how to modules prepared, the mounting system installed, connecting the plugs and the balcony power plant, efficiently and seamlessly integrated into your power grid. The profiles have a length of 118 cm and can be directly connected with the PV modules are screwed on as they are already pre-drilled to fit. Afterwards I screwed the two other profiles to this first profile. The small profile allows for, I will later adjust the angle at which the profile should face the sun. At the lower profile there are corresponding elongated holes with which I can mount the module directly on my roof. Can be screwed. The inverter can be attached directly to the profiles or with a clamp on the modules. The two connectors, the positive and negative terminals of the PV photovoltaic modules, are simply plugged into the inverter. The whole thing is designed to prevent confusion. For the second module, I inserted an extension cable in between. This makes it easier. To align the modules correctly, I secured the cables to the profiles with cable ties and thus secured. Subsequently, the modules could be perfectly aligned. To monitor the current, to be able to measure the values of the new mountain grain power plant, I have already set up a smart plug, switched with electricity meter functions between the Schuko plug and the socket through the Home Assistant. I can now conveniently read out what power is available to me, but with the associated app from the inverter, I can read much more data using the AP Easy Power app. The installation is relatively simple. I need to be near the modules to connect to my Wi-Fi via Bluetooth. To connect with the modules, the app provides me with the current output power of both. Modules also contain many other data, statistics and settings. Just take a look through there. What might be relevant for you? I log into the app via the direct connection. I have a local mode under the settings that I can activate. The local mode provides me with an API that allows me to continue working directly in Home Assistant. So the additional smart plug at all not, because the system can transmit the data directly, transferred from the inverter to my Home Assistant. I have the second balcony power plant. The two new modules are set up. As you can see, I believe the whole thing is now optimally aligned past the green trees so that I can capture as much solar power as possible through the electricity can be produced throughout the day. The power is fed into my home network and consumed directly. Currently, the pool pump is running, which consumes enough electricity, but I want to, in the future, store the excess electricity and therefore, for example, use a Zendure Hyper 2000 as battery management with zero feed-in. If you want to know how I will do that, subscribe to my channel now so you don't miss the new video. Give me feedback under this video. What do you think of this project? What do you think of balcony power plants? How have you implemented that? What are your thoughts on all these things? If you want to know where you can get the necessary materials, where you can obtain the modules mounting inverters, extension cables, or even the rubber connection cable and so on, then take a look. Check the video description below. I have linked everything there. You can access it directly by same price for you and a small commission for me and my channel. At this point, thank you very much for your support. I hope that your balcony power plant is just as productive. It will be as the advertisement promises, or how it already is in my case. I am looking forward to it. I'm already looking forward to the next video with you and say goodbye. Until then, take care. See you soon.